4 people, Johnny and 3 other people that were silent partners. About a month before, and he was going to win the case. It was all out there, and he just went missing about a month before he was supposed to get the money, and they found his truck. He went missing. He had thousands of dollars in the bank, still there, still untouched to this day. This is 2001, and they never found him again. And then Depp ended up, I think, giving his share of the Viper Room to this guy's daughter a couple years later. So basically, not saying he did it, but it seems like he knows who did it at least.
Yeah. There's a lot of shadiness around that Viper Room. There's all kind of accusations, there's connections to the OJ murders and stuff like that. And all kinds of coke dealing and all kinds of shenanigans going on there.
That's what I hear.
Yeah.
It's been going on for years there. Evidently, it's just like a club, even before it was a Viper Room. It's just notorious spot, I guess.
It's interesting too because I've had people contact me about Depp with stuff off the air and different kinds of allegations and stuff. And just recently there was a lawsuit against him by his own security forces.
Yeah, I think I saw that. I've only done the first part, but there's going to be a bunch more. Wasn't he? Or they're suing him?
Yeah, they're
security
suing
forces.
And there's one line in there about how they were transporting underage children and drugs.
Whoa, really?
Yeah, man.
I'm going to dig for that thing because I still got to put out part 2. And I'm going to be looking into the West Memphis 3 and all that kind of stuff with part 2 once I get there. But dang, I got to look for that.
Oh, no, there's some good stuff in there, man. And now what about West Memphis 3? Have you looked into all that stuff with Depp and Damien Eccles and all that?
I've started. It's weird, man, because like I said, I'm a musician. I play with a lot of 80s bands and,
right.
Underground punk bands and stuff. And I remember when this happened. And from my point of view back then, all my favorite musicians were supporting them. And I'll tell you, from a more closed-off perspective, back then when it happened, I'll tell you what we thought, just as normal kids or whatever, we thought that they were just getting accused because they looked different.
Right.
That's because we didn't pay attention to all the details or anything like that. Then I heard about it. Like I said, we looked into it last year a little bit, and my stomach turned. It really did. Oh, but I guess, yeah, I don't really know. I don't know everything about it, but I know that he moved into Depp's house, and they got matching tattoos with Marilyn Manson too. All 3 of them.
Yeah.
So they served 19 years in prison for murdering those 3 boys or something like that.
Yeah. You got to take a look into that. There's a lot of weird stuff, and it seems to be that the same kind of allegations I hear about the Depp all over the place come up again with his association with Eccles. And let's take a little commercial break. I forgot to tell you off the air, but every 20 minutes is a commercial break. It's about 3 minutes long. You won't be able to hear it, and we can't talk to each other, but it's about 3 minutes. So we'll be right back with more of Jamie Dlux. His YouTube channel is called Uploads from Jamie Dlux, and he's in his book here called Poetry's Not Dead, a collection of poems by Southern Punks. Southern Punks.
It's a mouthful, I know.
No, I was trying to say Jamie Dlux, Punks Deluxe. Came out Deluxe.
It's ridiculous.
We'll be right back after these messages. And more Jamie Dlux. Thank you.
And now a word from our sponsors. The Opperman Report is brought to you by SubhashTechnosis.com. Subash Technosis is a search engine optimization and website design company. They're located in India, so you're going to save a lot of money and get top quality service. They offer all sorts of business process outsourcing, data entry, banking BPO services, recruitment process outsourcing, software testing, offshoring, research network, customer care, press release, content writing and distribution, and much, much more. Now, you can get a hold of Subhash Technosis by email at info@subhashtechnosis.com. Their website is www.subhashtechnosis.com, and their Skype is ANUSHASUBASH. Check out cartking.com, 877-986-7771. Have you ever thought about opening your own mobile cart or kiosk business? Perhaps your current business wants to add multiple point-of-sale locations across the country quickly. Maybe the facility you manage could kickstart revenue by adding coffee, food, or retail services, like let's say you own an office building or a warehouse. Put one of these carts there in the lobby. Well, CartKing.com can be the answer to your needs. CartKing.com is a North American designer and manufacturer of the finest mobile retail coffee and food carts and kiosks money can buy. For 20 years, CartKing.com has been working with clients and corporations across America to provide indoor and outdoor carts and kiosks for any application. From large, heated, and secure outdoor retail or food kiosks to smaller, more mobile coffee kiosks or coffee stations, coffee carts, CartKing.com designs and builds them all. Carts and kiosks are fun, and so are the dozens of designs on the website, CartKing.com. Please visit today at CartKing.com or just call them at 877-986-7771. Tell them Ed Opperman sent you and you get a good deal. Remember, all these shows on Awake are brought to you by emailrevealer.com. You can go to emailrevealer.com and get a copy of my book, How to Become a Successful Private Investigator. You also do all the kind of different services for you. Online dating service investigations called an online infidelity investigation. And that's where you give us your husband or your boyfriend, your girlfriend's email address, and we trace it back to their online dating websites, and we return a list of all the dating sites that email is registered to. We can expand on that investigation and trace it back to porn sites, escort service sites, swinger sites, gambling websites, and even prescription drug websites, and all kinds of digital forensics, computer and cell phone digital forensics, where we can recover deleted content from an email or a hard drive and produce a report for you that you can use in court. That's emailrevealer.com, or you can contact me at oppermaninvestigations@gmail.com.
Okay, welcome back to the Opperman Report. I'm your host, Private Investigator Ed Opperman. We're joined today by Jamie Dlux, Dlux. You can find him on YouTube, on his YouTube channel. It's so funny. I can hear Jamie. He did me a favor by coming on today during his lunch break. So I'm guessing you're out in the parking lot in your car.
I'm sitting in the car, kind of like around the corner.
And I can hear him chewing and swallowing, gulping down food.
Hey, I'm gulping down an energy drink.
Yeah,
trying to wake up a little bit for you.
The audience can't hear it, so don't worry. But it reminds me of the show I did. If you go to my member section, I did a show with Maurice Simonet, the guy from Blacks for Trump, the guy who's behind Trump at the rallies, the black guy holding up they call him Michael the Black Guy.
Michael Black Guy.
Yeah, and it turns out he has this crazy backstory. He was involved in his cult and everything. He tried to chop off a guy's head with a machete. Okay, was charged with this. The cult killed 13 people. It's a fascinating story. But he's in the parking lot too, as I'm at the and he starts getting into a fight with another guy in the parking lot during the show. Okay, so let's all keep our good thoughts for Jamie here. He doesn't get attacked in the parking lot here.
It's all right. I'm not violent. I'm not going to pull a machete on anybody. I don't even have machetes. I don't know.
Yeah. But as a matter of fact, the machete was so dull, he couldn't cut the guy's head off. It was too dull.
God,
it's a fascinating story.
It sounds it. I have to listen to that one.
I'm looking at your channel here, right? And I see Isaac Cappy. What do you make of the Isaac Cappy story?
Oh, I don't know. I didn't delve down there too much because, there's one thing I can admit that a lot of people can't. I don't know the truth to a lot of stuff.
Right.
Like a lot of people are for or against something. I really don't know the truth. I thought a lot of what he might be saying might be true, but I don't know if I don't think he went about it the right way. Just like raping like a lunatic on, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't really know what his aim was. A lot of people are saying it's a scam. A lot of people are for him still. And I definitely don't want to go down that divide because where I can be honest and say I really don't know what his deal was.
Right.
I know he took off to Australia with Fiona Barnett. He's still hanging out there.
Oh, really?
So,
get out of here.
Here's what happened.
Yeah.
He got kicked off a Periscope, supposedly.
Okay.
And then, what did he do? And then he posted a picture of himself with David Brock.
Right, I saw that.
Saying he was trolling him. And then gets on a plane and goes to Australia. He's been there for about 2 weeks or something like that. I don't know exactly, but around 2 weeks from now, he's still in Australia. It's kind of strange, but I don't know.
Yeah, that's interesting. I had Fiona Barnett on my show. And,
did you?
Oh, yeah, a long time ago. And 2 hours. And then I gave her a show. I gave her, because I still own, it's kind of going under right now, Awake Radio. And I gave her a weekly show on there.
Okay.
Where she hosted her own show on there. And then she just disappeared one day.
Yeah.
Just kind of vanished on me there. So now she's hanging out with Isaac Cappy. Well, that's interesting. If I need to find her, I know where to look.
Yeah. I had my other spiel with her. It wasn't much.
Okay.
Somebody on Twitter, somebody said that I was buddies with an open secret. I use a lot of them for a source in my videos. Doesn't mean I'm like good friends with them or anything. It's valid sources. Okay. So she's like, block the pedo, boy. And I took offense because I do a lot for this. I'm definitely not a pedo. That's like the worst thing you can call me.
Yeah.
But I will say, a lot of people stuck up for me, and she did apologize, and I accepted it because I'm not the guy that hold grudges and stuff, you know. So she did apologize, and I accepted it. That's all I can do about that. You know.
Now, what about, there was a big controversy the past year, too, with the Corey Feldman and Corey Haim and Jude Haim and the Angels.
It's funny you should say that.
Go ahead, what do you got?
Dominic Brasha, who is one of the people that was accused of molesting Corey Haim, died today.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Dominic died today.
What did he die from?
It said natural causes.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, it is interesting. And I'm wondering what kind of news is going to come out now that Dominic Brasha died today, because Dominic is the one that called out Charlie Sheen in the National Enquirer.
Right.
And Dominic is who Corey Haim's mother named, and Nicole Eggert named Brasha too on NT's podcast. She was a guest one day. And she's like, Corey told me it was Dominic. Yeah. And Marty Weiss today on Twitter saw that I posted that, shared it, because he added me on Twitter when I started following him. But, you know, how do you get information? By seeing what people say, that's how you get information. He shared it and called out Corey. He's like, well, now that he's dead, you're going to call him out and name him as Tony Burnham in your book. So I don't know what's going to happen. But Dominic died today. I do know that. And it's pretty crazy.
Yeah, that's interesting. That's a new development for sure.
I think something's going to happen now. I think some name might be, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. See, that's another weird thing. That's when my channel started getting big, is when I found Corey Feldman's, for the guy he named that molested him. I'm the dude that found him, and Corey confirmed it on Twitter. He's like, great job. And then he went on Dr. Oz and all that shit. Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Sorry, I didn't mean that. Yeah, he went on Dr. Oz and all that, and I didn't find out who he was, because he left clues in his book. He called the guy Ron Crimson or something like that. Yeah, Ron Crimson. And everyone else had already figured out it was a guy named John Grissom. I confirmed it because he was in 2 of the movies at just like a tiny part. Like, it was License to Drive, and I can't remember the other one right now. But I found him living in Mexico and sharing pictures on Facebook of Corey Haim and Corey Feldman. And I made a video. And then I guess he took off from Mexico to Canada. I really don't know what has happened since then. But it's just really crazy.
Did you ever get a chance to talk to Feldman or
No, I
Judy
never had a chance
Haim?
to talk to Feldman. I never had a chance, because I saw that he said somebody on a fan, or I don't know if he's a fan or if he's just like somebody that's into researching this stuff, found him living in Mexico, sharing pictures of, you know, but I never talked to him personally, no.
And what do you think about the allegations against Sheen?
I don't know what's true, but there are some weird things. When you start looking back, that's something I want to bring up to you, that when you mentioned the security guard suing Depp and talking about that kids. I don't know about kids, but I did a video on Heidi Fleiss.
Okay.
And what I did was I watched an old Hollywood True Story. They were a lot more open back then. You know, like they would just say stuff, and like, so it was the LA Times reporter talking about, all right, so she's in the interview and she's talking, she's like, well, yeah, there was this blonde girl that got caught up, you know, with a bad crowd, and Charlie Sheen gave her away as a birthday present. Wait a minute, gave her away as a birthday present? She says this. So I'm like, what are you talking about? Human trafficking here? Giving girls away? And she's talking about the prostitutes going over to Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like they were a lot more open if you watch that stuff from back then. It's really good for researching, because people would just say whatever, you know, because we didn't pick up on it really, you know.
Did you ever look at the stuff in Denise Richards' lawsuits?
Yes, about the porno.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I've done many videos on Sheen. There's also another thing. He had like an underground crack den, apparently, according to Lenny Dystra.
Right.
So yeah, if you move a bookshelf to get to an underground like room to smoke crack in, what else could be hiding under there? Who knows? It's something that stuck out in my mind.
You know, I tell you, I can talk about. I was just dating Lenny Dykstra's ex-girlfriend.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
He's a funny dude. I mean,
Yeah.
he's a scumbag. Don't get me wrong, but